toolbox. Okay, and then today we go for the fuzzy neural network toolbox. And then second objective is to prepare the student the knowledge and ability for executing the simulation of the neural networks toolbox step by step lah. Alright, so how to design the neural networks, okay, using the Matlab software, right? So you can see this one, the theory. Theory is the step lah, the step how you want to design the neural networks, okay. So actually this one is the old version neural network toolbox, right? But still, I think still can be used. All right. So the first step, first we have to know the input output pattern lah. We have the output input and output pattern, okay, because we want to assemble the training data. So that I mentioned to you, so on the neural network we have two phase. First we have the training phase, and second after the training, and then we get the error is a minimized error. Then we go for the second phase, we call the recall phase lah. That means recall phase is the application phase lah. That means we can solve the task. Okay, that is the first step. First step, we have to get the input and output data lah, or input and output pattern. So normally from this one, normally we use the image. Okay, we use the image processing. Okay, we use the image to get the data lah. That's why I mentioned to you the first class. So that's why this subject is have the relationship between the machine vision. So we just use the data from the image from the machine vision. Okay, and then we get the data, and then we train our data, okay, on the neural networks. Then we can apply lah on our data to solve the task. Right, so that is the step number one. Step number one, okay, we have to get the inputs and output pattern, and also we have to get the target lah. Also we have the target. All right, and then second step, we have to create the networks. Okay, we have to create network. Okay, so this one we have a lot of neural networks topologies. For example, feed forwards. Okay, feed forward backpropagation that the last class study. We have the perceptron. We have a lot of technique inside the neural network. So and then we have to know the neural network structure. So how many layer? So we have the input layer, hidden layer. So on the hidden layer, how many layer you want to set? For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then we have the output layer lah, right? And then so we have the neural models, okay, and then the number of neuron and layer lah. So how many layer? How many neuron we have? So that is what here you can set lah. On the step number 2, you can set how many neurons on the or how many layer that for your neural networks. Okay. And then step number 3 will be training the network. Okay, that I mentioned to you. So after we have input and output, we create the networks. Then we have to train. We have to train the network so that we get the minimized error. So on the train network, so we have to set the initial weight. Okay, so this one, initial weight that I mentioned to you. For simplicity, maybe you can set all initial to be 0, or you can set as the 1. Up to you lah. For simplicity, normally we set as the 0 or 1 lah. Okay, for the weight and also for the bias. Okay, for the bias, we have to set lah. And then we have to set the learning algorithms. Okay, and also we have to set the learning parameter lah. For example, how many approach, okay, learning rate, and so on lah. Okay, and then last after step number 4 will be this is for recall lah. We call we can use as the to solve the problem lah, or we can before we go for the recall, maybe we try to simulate lah. Is it correct or not lah? Is that our network is okay or not? So maybe we can go for the step number 4 is simulate our network lah, to validate that our network is okay or not lah. Okay, and then step number 4, simulate the network response to new input to validate the networks. Okay, that is the step cover in the how to design the neural network using the Matlab lah. Okay, so today we go for example. Okay, this one actually this example, right? How to recognize the now we have only 2 type of fruit. We have the orange and apple lah. Okay, so this is today how to inside this one. So inside this one we are studying inside the this GUI lah. So this GUI already developed on the Matlab. So we study inside this one how the neural network works. Okay. Alright. So I think I skip this one first. Alright. I will explain. Go for the for the Matlabs. Okay. So this one okay, I'll skip. Okay. So actually for the if you use the Matlabs, okay, you can type the MM tools to appear the after that I will show the step lah. Okay, this one okay, before we go this one, okay, I just want to explain this one. Alright, so for example this one so this is our our input and output lah. Alright, for example, okay, this is simple example lah. So actually we have a lot of data for input and output, but this one for simple application. For example, input number 1 we have the shape. Okay, input number 2 we have the texture, and we have input number 3 we have the weights. Okay, all right. So but we have only two type of the fruit. We have the orange and we have the apples. All right, and then we set the target lah. All right, you can see this one. For example, the target for orange is -1. Here you can see this one. If -1, and then for the apple target will be 1. Okay, it will be 1 lah. All right, so that's why if you can see this one all right, for the input I can write like this lah on the Matlab. So 1 1. Okay, actually this one will be represented as the shape. Okay, this one P is the input. 1 1. Okay, semicolons. Okay, -1. Okay, you can see this one -1 and 1 here. Okay, this first row will be represented as the orange. Second row will be present as second column will be represented as the orange, and second column will be present as the apple. All right. So that's why you can write like this lah. So 1 1. Okay, you can see 1 1. Okay, semicolon for second input. There is tester. All right. -1 1. Okay, -1 1. And then semicolon go for the input number 3. Input number 3 will be weight. Weight will be -1 -1 lah. -1 That is for input. Okay. And then so our target will be that I mentioned to you. So the orange will be set as the -1 and apple will be set as the 1. Okay. Right. So this is how to set the input and target lah. So next we go for the okay, I'll stop sharing here first. All right, so can you see the Matlab online class, guys? Can you see this one?
Yes.
All right. So okay, actually you can use Matlab online. So if you not install your for example, like my PC, this one I will not install the Matlab, so I just use the Matlab online. So also you can use, but you have to use the UTM UTM email lah, because the UTM already subscribed the online Matlab online. So that's why you can use the Matlab online, but this one is the 2020B, right? Okay, before we run the NN tool that I mentioned to you on this before this. So first, let's go for the demo. Demo. Okay, for the demo, you can type NND. NND. This one neural network demo lah. Okay, so will be appear this one. Okay, so this one, can you see this one? Neural network design. Alright, so we have the neural network design. You can see, okay, so you can click on the table of content. Okay, you can see this one, okay, click table of contents. Alright, after you click table of content, you go for chapter 3. Chapter 3 for demos lah. Okay, today we go for the Perceptron Classification. We go for Perceptron Classification. Click here. So and then will be appear this one. So the example that I show to you is the recognize the fruit lah, either the orange or apple. Okay, can you see this one? Okay, the GUI for the fruit recognition. Right, so you can click go. Okay, you can click here, go. Right, so you can see this one, the animation. So the apple here, go for image processing. So the image will be detect the value for the shape, texture, and weights. Right, and then so this is part our part lah, is a neural networks. And then after that we select either we use the output will be orange or apple. So for example, this one will be detect on the okay, one is the fruit here, you can see this one, so okay, and then you can run. Okay, after this you can run, go again, but this one I just I want to show you how to. Okay, so this one, so you can click again, okay, to go. So you can see another fruit here. Okay, another fruit will be appear. Okay, now will be orange. Okay, go for image processing here, and then to get the data here for shape, texture, and weight. And then they use the hard limb. Okay, the hard limb actually is the activation function, and then get the output here. So the output will be orange. Okay, the output will be orange here. Okay, so you can try, you can try run here. Okay, and after this you can try lah run to get the parameter. For example, this, okay, you can see this one, the parameter for orange. Okay, orange is the shape is the positive 0.97. Okay, texture is the negative is 0.54, and then the weight is the negative 0.002, sorry, negative 0.22. Okay, this one is the from this one image lah, and then from this image we use the neural network, so this one we use the perceptron, right? So I will show you some example here. I stop sharing here first. Okay, so I go for
Doctor?
Yeah, sorry.
Just now I tried to insert the NND command, then it come out that unrecognized function or variable. Can I know why, Doctor?
Okay, I'm not sure. Maybe you have to when you are installed, make sure you pick all the toolbox. Okay, I'm not sure you already when you install. So you have to install the when you install, but you run online or you have already installed your Matlab.
I already installed the Matlab and already clicked the tools, all the tools, but it seems like the same error appear.
Okay, not appear, and when you click NND on the command and then not appear the example here, not appear
Yes,
for the demo. Okay. This one I'm not sure, so I will check. Okay, I will check for you. Okay, so maybe you can try. Okay, if you want to, you can try online lah. If you want to see the demo, you can try online lah. Okay, you can try online first. Okay, but the online you have to enter the UTM email lah, based on UTM email. Okay, for example, I want to show you here. All right, so okay, you can see this one. This is some example here. All right, so this is our weight. Okay, like this one, perceptron. Okay, you have to remember this one. All right, so we have the okay. So now this is our input. This is our input. Okay, this is S. All right, so our input here will be 0.82. All right, so this one will be 0.69. All right, here input 3 will be negative 0.08. Okay, this one come from the image processing lah. I'm not sure so how it gets. So for example, this input is for shape. Okay, and then second input is texture, and then third input will be weight lah. Okay, will be weights. Right, so and then you can see the weight here will be 0 here, 1 and 0. Okay, all right, the first step that I mentioned to you, you have to calculate the net input lah, S. So we use this formula lah, B plus summation of Xi Wi. All right, so you can see this one. So this is our net input actually. Okay, so they use this one lah. Okay, you can see this. B is the bias. All right, P is our input actually here, and then W is our weight lah. Right here. So you can see, so how you can get this one. All right, B now will be 0. Okay, so bias will be 0 here. okay, plus, all right, 0. Input number 1, 0.82 multiplied by 0, okay, and then plus 0.69 multiplied by 1, okay, plus negative 0.848, sorry, multiplied by 0. So S equal to 0.9, 0.69, okay, 0.69. You can see this one, so either this one, either 0 or, okay, so this one either negative 1 or 1, okay, so 1 will be apple, okay, so negative 1 will be orange. Okay, so this is our target lah that I mentioned to you before this. 1 will be apple, negative 1 will be 1 will be apple, and negative 1 will be orange. So now will be 0.6. They use the hard limbs. Okay, the hard limb. So on the hard limb, you can see on the Matlab help. So what is the actually that I mentioned to you? The hard limb is the activation function lah. Similar like threshold. Similar like threshold. Similar like our sigmoid. Okay, sigmoid equals to 1 over plus 1 plus exponent like this one, sigmoid. Okay, and then another one we have the hard limb. So the hard limb, you can go for the help. So actually it's like this lah, similar like this. Similar, almost similar like sigmoid lah. Okay, so this one, so we have the, okay, this one, we have the 1 here is a negative 1. Right, so this one will be apple, and then this one will be orange. Right, so this is we call the hard limb lah. Okay, so this one we call the activation function. This one we call the activation function lah. Similar like threshold. Similar like threshold. So this activation function to determine either the output is a negative 1 or 1 or 0 or 1 or something like that lah. So to determine the, okay, this activation function to determine the output lah. So you can see this one. So the S function is the net input is the 0.96. So they use the hard limb around here, all right, around here. So will be 1. Okay, that's why the output here. So y equals to 1 lah. So if y equal to 1, the fruit will be apple. Okay, the fruit will be apple. Right. So this is some example. Okay, so maybe I'll show you some example for orange. Okay, maybe you can okay, delete this one first. All right. Okay, this example for orange. Okay, so for example, our input will be, we have the 0.97, okay, semicolon. Okay, we have 0.54, okay, semicolon. We have the negative 0.22. Okay, so the weight will be maintained. Weight will be maintained. Okay, 0, 1, 0, and then bias will be 0. Okay. All right. So we use the calculate the net input lah. For example, this is our neuron S. Okay, this Y. So they use the hard limb here, called the hard limb. All right. So this one will be 0, 1, 0. So this one will be input 1. I put this input 1, input 2, input 3. Okay. So similar like for this. So input 1 is this one represent as the shape, and then this one will be represent as the texture, and this one represent as the width. Okay, so you can see 0, 1, 0. So automatically, so will be here. So the S will be B plus minus B plus XI WI lah. Okay, so B 0. Okay, so this one only this one lah. Okay, 1 multiplied by negative 0.54. Okay, so the output will be negative 0.54. So using the hard limb here, so negative will be 1, negative 1, and then negative 1 will be orange. Okay, so the output of this fruit is the orange. Okay, the output of this one is the orange lah. Okay, you can see this one. So how it's work lah, how the neural networks work. For example, this one we use the perceptron. Okay, so next, stop sharing here. We go for the online. Okay, I'll show. Alright, so this one you can try. After this, you can try click in the NND, so will be appear this one will be appear for demo so you can see all the demo for the neural networks. Okay, I just close this one. Okay, so we go for the next we go for the next. There is the NN tools lah. Okay, so go for the command window. Okay, then click NN tools click NN tool, not click, sorry, type NN tools type NN tools. Okay, so when you type NN tool will be appear this one neural networks data manager. Okay, but you can see this one so the NN tool will be removed in the future release so maybe on the future, okay, the feature, so this one will be NN tool will be removed so also you can use the NN start. So now you can also use the NN start or you can use the NN tool okay, but you can see this one on the feature release maybe 2001, okay, 2021, maybe this NN tool will be removed but now still can use so if you install less for example like 2019, 2018, you can use this also, okay, the NN tools. Okay, you click NN tools, so will be appear this one okay, can you see this one NN tool? So we have the we have to set the input data, we have to set the target data, okay, we have to set the network, and then this is output so on the output we can see the output data, the error data, and then also the layer delay state okay, can you see this one all right, so and then you click on the new here, okay, on this icon you can click new. So when you click the new, so will be appear this one will be appear this one. I change this one, okay, will be appear this one all right, so we create the networks or data first we have to dimension 3 on the step number 1, we have to set the inputs okay, the inputs, input and output all right, so for example for the input okay, you can see on the put as the input on the on the my notes, okay, on the file word, so already gives you, for example, is the input will be 1 1 semicolon -1 1 semicolon -1 okay, you can see this one okay, for the input 1, okay, 1 semicolon -1 1 and then semicolon -1 -1 all right, and then you have to put on the data type is the input. Okay, this is the input. Okay, you can, after you set this one input, you can click create here. So okay, so click okay, and then you can see on the neural network data manager will be appear this one for output here. Okay, display the output. Okay, this one next you have to enter the target Okay, next you have to put as the you can put as the target. The name is the target, so the target will be okay. So this data you can see on the left sheet on the left sheet is the target is the -1. Okay, 1 all right, so the data type you have to put on the targets okay, put on the targets and then create. Okay, so you can see on the data manager here, so the target data will be here so now we can train our networks. Okay, but before that let put another input for example this one for simulate. Okay, this one I just put in the test one I put a test one to simulate what type of this fruit for example. Okay, I put any value, you can put any value, 3 value for example for shape, texture and weights. Okay, for example I put as the 0.72, okay, semicolon negative 0.47 semicolon negative 0.53. Okay, test one so this one as an input as an input, right, so click create here, so create. Okay, so we can see on the input data we have the input and test one okay, maybe you can put another testing data so this one to simulate our network, is it okay or not so I put as the test two test two, you can change any value here. Okay, maybe I put here I put any value here is a 5. Okay, this one maybe a put 45. Okay, this one. Okay, so this one for input. Okay, test number 2. Create here, so will be appear on the test 2 on the data manager here. So now you can see. So on the data manager, we have the input. Okay, we have the input and target, and also we have the test 1, test 2 lah. Test 1, test 2 is to simulate our network. So now we have to create our network. Okay, so for this we just substitute the input. Okay, just add the input, and then now we have to add we have to create the network. Okay, so this one you can add any name. For example, you want to maintain a network 1. Okay, and then now you can see this one. Network properties. We have the network types. So you can see this one. A lot of type here. Okay, on the neural network, for example, we have the feed forward back propagation. So this one similar like last week class. This is the technique how feed forward, and then they use the back propagation learning algorithm. This one. So this is similar like last week class. But for today, we just go for the perceptron. Okay, we go for perceptron. Network type we use for perceptron because of our example. Okay, we use the perceptron. Okay, for recognition, we use the perceptron. Okay, so you can see here a lot of technique inside the neural network. We have the cascade forward back propagation. We have the competitive. We have the almond back propagation. Feed forward. Okay, feed forward distributed time delay. Okay, feed forward time delay. Generalized regression. Field, layer recurrent, and so on. Okay, a lot of technique inside the neural network that I mentioned to you. So you can see until we have the self-organizing map. Okay, so but for this class, okay, for this example, I go for the perceptron. For simple application, cover in our class will be perceptron. Okay, so when you click perceptron here, okay, you can see we have to select an input. So you have to click here. You have to select the input, okay, and then targets. You have to select the target lah. Okay, that's why I put as the name. As the name, easy for you lah to refer. So this one as the input, and this one target for the target lah. Okay, and then we have to use hard limbs. Okay, hard limbs, and then this one learning NP lah. This is learning function, right? And then also you can create or you can view. Okay, you can click here view to see the network lah. How the network look like. Okay, you can see this one. So we have 3 inputs. We have the output, and we have the layer, only 1 layer. Okay, you can see this one. And then after you satisfied this one, you can create here. Create. Okay, so okay, now will be appear this one. On the data manager will be appear the network 1 lah. Okay, network 1 here. Okay. So now, okay, after you this is step number 1. Set the input and output, and then also the target. Second, set the networks. Okay, the network type. Okay, and then third, we have to train. We have to train our networks. Okay, so this one. Okay, click on the for step number 3 will be click on the network 1. Double click. Okay, you have to double click on the network 1 here. Double click on the network 1. So will be appear this one. Will be appear network 1 here. All right. So you can see we have the view, train, simulate, adapt. Okay, initialize weight and edit weight. Okay, view and edit weight lah. So now we have to go for edit weight. Okay, because of our simulation, okay, on the demo, we use the 0, 1, 0. So we have to change 0, 1, 0. Okay, we have to follow the previous example. Okay, 0, 1, 0. Okay, and then you have to set. Okay, after you change, okay, you have to click on the set weight lah. Okay, set weight. Okay, all right, and then go for bias. Okay, also the bias 0. Okay, this one already 0. So our bias will be 0 lah. Okay, so after you set the weight and bias, so you can go for train. Okay, this one we have the training info and training parameter lah. This one you can adjust lah. So how many push? Okay, this one for example 1000. Okay, 1000 push that I mentioned to you. So the push how many? So now the iteration we have 3 iteration lah. Okay, 1 1. Okay, for example, our data is 1 1 negative 1 1 negative 1 1 kan. This is we have 3 iteration lah. We have 3 iteration. Okay, and then when we rotate this one approach, we rotate until 1000 time lah. Okay, that's why we call the 1000 approach. Okay, this one only one for example, input 1 we have the 3 iteration. Okay, so this one we set as the 1000. That means this network train will be rotate until 1000 lah. Okay, this one the time is infinity lah. So the goal is 0 because that's why I mentioned to you. So our target is the error is 0. Okay, the error is minimize because this data we have not too many data, just a few data. So that's why I think can easier to get the 0. Okay, the goal is 0 lah, 0 for error. Okay, and then go for the training. Okay, training info. Okay, you can see this one. So for the input, okay, you can put input 1. You can put as the input 1, and then the target you can click on the zeros. In the target here, and then you can this one you can change the name or maintain. Okay, for example, I just maintain the name here. Okay, for the outputs. Okay, network 1 output and network 1 error. Okay, so and then after you set the input and target, so click on the train networks. Click on the train networks. So will be appear this one lah. Alright, so already done because of not too many data, just a few data. So very fast You can see this one almost no iteration because of very simple. Okay, that's why if you want to run the neural network, make sure your data is more data lah. So because of more accurate For example, this one is just a simple example to show how the neural network works So now you can see on the data manager here, so you can see we have the network output and we have the network error. Alright, so you can click double click on the network input. Okay, so you can see this one So this one will be output lah. Okay, one is that I mentioned to you, one is the apple, negative 1 is the orange. Okay, this one negative 1 is the orange and 1 is the apple this one That's why you can see this one will be get the correct the correct output is the apple or orange. That's why the our error will be 0. You can click here, double click on the network error. Okay, network error you can see is the 0 0 lah, because of this one give the correct value lah. So this one is the orange and this one will be apple Negative 1 represent as the orange, 1 represent as the apple. Okay, that's why our error here will be 0 0. Okay, because of output will be follow as the target. Okay, follow the target kan. You can see on the target is the similar like output. That's why our error will be 0 0. Okay, because if the output will be different compared than target, so that's why we have the error here will be displayed error here. But for this one, for the demo, you can see the output will be follow the target lah. We follow target So negative 1 1 and the error will be 0 lah, because y tolak is output minus with the target will be 0 will be 0, will be same lah. So the output will be same with the target lah. That's why our error will be 0. Okay. After this one, we satisfied this one because of our error is 0. That's why we can proceed we can simulate. Okay, you can click here on the network 1, click on the simulate you can try. Okay, so I just try. Okay, for example, I just try test 1 Okay, the test 1. Okay, that means the data 1 I put here test 1 for the input data. I put as the test 1. Right, to recognize is it what type of the fruit is the orange or apple. So I just change the output here. So the simulation result I change to output 1 Okay, test 1 output 1 here. You have to change. If not, you not change, so will be replaced. Okay, it will be replaced for network 1 output here So that's why I change to the outputs. Okay, to the output 1, and then you can simulate the network. Okay, simulate the networks. Okay. And then you can see on the data manager will be appear the network 1. Okay, so the data for the test 1. Okay, so you can click the output here. So the output will be will be negative, -1. So yeah, so the fruit of the data 1 is the orange, okay, because of the -1. The output is the -1. Okay, the output is the one that I mentioned to you. -1 represent as the orange, is the orange. So that's why here we get the orange. Okay, so maybe you can try another example. Okay, maybe train, simulate. We go for the test number 2. Okay, test number 2, we can change this one. The output test output 2 lah. So we try. So what type of the fruit? So we simulate. Okay, all right. So you can see on the data manager we have the network 1, output 2. So double click on the output. All right. So this one for the type test number 2, the input data is the apple. All right, because of the output will be 1. Okay, the output will be 1. 1 will be present as the apple. Okay, the fruit is the apple. Okay, you can see this one. Right, so that's why our network is good lah, because of no error. And then anything data you can try, so will be detects any what type of the fruit. Okay, this one. And then you can use this one to develop the GUI lah. So the GUI that I mentioned to you, you can see on the demo lah. So how the demo, you can see how the neural network works lah. So this one, how the neural network works. Okay, you can try. You can try to test any value. Okay, because of this one, our network is good because no error. So you can try. You can put any value. Okay, for example, I go for this one. I will maintain here. I go for the network here. Okay, network data manager. Okay, so you can create any value here. Okay, maybe I just test 3. I click on the test 3. Okay, so this one you can change any value lah. For example, I just put 0.1. This one -7. Okay, I put here 7, and this one also negative. So negative lah. Okay, this one negative, and this one negative. I put negative lah. All the negative. So this is data 3. Test 3. Data 3 I put as the -0.1 semicolon, -0.7 semicolon, -0.53. Okay, I put as the input. Okay, so we'll be pay this one, test 3. So I just go for the no need to train, no need to train because I already train our network. Just go for the simulate again, go for the test 3. Okay, and then change the output name lah. Okay, the output file name. So maybe I can put as the output 3, output 3, and then simulate the networks. Okay, simulate the networks, and then will be appear this one. We will appear this one, network 1, output 3. So you can click, double click on this one. All right, so set this one. Okay, so this one will be the output will be -1. So -1 will be orange. Okay, so the data that I enter this one, add on the data manager is the orange. Okay, it's the orange. Okay, that's why how it's work lah. So how the system works. So this data will be orange lah. But so how to get this data is come from the machine vision lah. So that's why they are separate into 3 parts. Okay, for example, the input number 1 will be represent as the shape. So how for example, we have the shape. Okay, how you can convert into the shape lah. Okay, from image. Okay, you can convert into the shape. And then second, we have the texture. Okay, we can use the machine vision to convert into texture. And then last is weight lah. We have the weight. Okay, we have the weight. Okay, right. So this one how to run the network neural networks. Okay, using the Matlab lah. Okay, I just cancel. All right. Okay, so actually that's all for today. Maybe I can just explain again. Okay, skip first. Okay, you can clear all, because this one you can see so the NN tool will be removed lah for the future release. So you can use the NN start lah. Okay. But because of I'm familiar with using the tools, that's why I use the tool lah. Okay, because before this I just used the tool. and then the Matlab upgrade to NN start, so you can try. After this, also you can try NN start or NN tool. So the NN start will be like this. Okay, click on the command window and then start. So similar like this lah. Okay, you have to, okay, maybe some of you already use this one, and then start. So you can use what type? Okay, you can use NN tools. Okay, this one will be fitting application, pattern recognition. So what type of application you want to use? For example, you want to pattern recognition, you can use this one, pattern recognition apps. Okay, or you want to clustering, okay, clustering the image, for example, you can use this one, clustering apps. Okay, or you want to use the for the dynamic time series, so you can use the time series apps lah. Okay, so this one will be NN start. Okay, you can explore this one lah. Okay, for our class, okay, I just use the NN tool lah. Okay, because before that I'm familiar with NN tools. Okay, click NN tools. Okay, type NN tool and click here. So will be appear this one. So this one will be like a manual lah. Okay, you have to put the data. Okay, put the data here. Okay, targets. Okay, you have to create the networks. Okay, so this one I just refresh again. Okay, I just repeat again. So how to design the neural network using the Matlab. Okay, right. So first you have to type NN tools on the command window. Okay.
Orang kaya ni kadang bodoh. Orang kaya ni kadang bodoh.
Right. Okay, so after click NN tool, so will be appear this one, will be appear the data manager. All right, and then click on the new. Okay, click on the new here. So will be appear this one. I'm not sure. Hopefully you can see this one. Okay, will be appear the create networks or data lah. Okay, so the first step that I mentioned to you, you have to set the input and output and the target lah. Okay, this one. Okay, this one the name lah. You can change any name lah. You can put any name. For example, you can put input. I put as the input. Okay, input. I put as the input one lah. Okay, input one. Okay, this one. This is from the lab sheet that I given to you. Okay, you can see on the lab sheet I put as the input is the one. Okay, we have the space. Okay, this one and one have a space and then semicolon. Okay, so this one will be I will show you on the okay. After that, I will show you how the Matlab works. So this one will be -1 and 1 semicolon. Okay, and then -1 and -1. Okay, all right. So click and data type is have to click the input or target, up to you lah. You want to put as the output, error. Okay, this one, for example, I put as the input. Okay, click create. Okay, so and then click OK, and then will be appear this one on the data manager will be input, and then you put as the target lah. Okay, I put as the T. Okay, I put as the T. I put as the T. Okay, this is our target. Okay, our target on you can before that I explain to you. So -1 represent is our orange, or 1 represent is our apple. All right, or you can change. Okay, I just change. Okay, maybe I put this one 1. Okay, this means the first column will be represent as the apple. Okay, or represent the orange, and this one represent the apple. I just change. Okay. All right, to see the difference. Okay, before this. So before this, the target. Okay, the target for first column will be orange. Okay, second column will be apple. But this one I change. Okay, first column will be orange, but orange will be target will be 1, and then apple will be -1 lah. Okay, I just change to see the difference. Okay, for example, before this. Okay, click as the target here. And then create. Create. Okay, so you can see this one will be target. Okay, and then I put another data test. I put as the test. I put as a test buah. Okay, test buah. I put any value here to test what type of the fruit lah, either orange or apple. Okay, I put as the Okay, ini value 0.1212, okay, semicolon, negative 0.24, okay, semicolon 0.9, okay. For example, this one, test buah. Is it orange or apple? I don't know. So we can try using our network to detect either this one orange or apple. Alright, so I put as the input and then click here. Okay, you can see on the data manager will be put as the test buah. Alright, so next we have to create the networks. Okay, we have to create the networks. Maybe you can put as the I put the change the name. You can change any name. I put as the Perceptron. Okay, Perceptron. Okay, you can see this one. You can see so a lot of technique inside the neural network that I mentioned to you. So on this demo, we use the Perceptron. Okay, you click here on the Perceptron. Okay, and then you can select the input. Okay, I put as the input. Okay, and then we select the target. Okay, use the hard limbs. Okay, the hard limb. Okay, so if you want to see the hard limb, you can type on the helps. Helps. You can see the theoretical for the hard limb. Okay, the hard limb is that mentioned is the activation function. Okay, to select the output. Okay. Similar like threshold. Similar like threshold. Similar like sigmoid. Okay, and then the learning algorithms. Okay, and then you can create. Okay, you can click here create. So will be appear this one will be appear on the network. This one I put as the Perceptron. Okay, after you create the input, okay, and target, and also the another input, okay, to test the any input, and then you can create the networks. Then you can click on the network. Click on the Perceptron here, double click. Alright, so when you double click, will be appear this one. Will be appear our network lah. We call the Perceptron. Okay, so that I mentioned to you, the first we have to train. Before we have to train, we have to set lah. We have to set the input and output. We have to set the input, the bias. Okay, initialize, depends. Okay, for example, this one, the initialize the already. If you not put the any value, initial value, so the Matlab will be set for you lah. Okay, for example, this one will be set as the 0, 0, 0, and then you can see the bias will be set as the 0. Okay, this is the initial value lah. For example, the Matlab will be set for you. But if you have any value, for example, like I mentioned to you, weight, our weight, we will follow the example. Okay, we follow the example. This one will be 0, 1, 0. Okay, 0, 1, 0. After you change the weight, you have to click on the set weight. Okay, you have to click on set weight. Okay. Alright, so the bias similar. The bias is we set as the 0. This one also the 0 lah. Okay. After set the weight and bias, so we have to go for the train lah. Okay, go for the train. Yeah, click on the train. Okay, that I mentioned to you before this, so you can change the training parameter. Okay, for example, you want to change how many push. Okay, maybe 1000 too many. Okay, if you have a lot of data, maybe you can reduce the number of push. That's mean that's why the neural network will take time because of the push. If you set the 1000 push, okay, so this neural network will be rotate until 1000. But the condition, okay, that I mentioned to you, maybe you remember. So if the error is minimized, so then, for example, only 500 push, so the error will be minimized. So no need to proceed lah. That's why the Matlab will be stopped at 1500 push. Okay, not only this is the maximum. Okay, the maximum push, but for example, for 100 push, so already get the minimize. Okay, minimize. So this is goal lah. For example, the error is 0. So the Matlab will be stop the training. Okay, will be stop the training. So no need go for the 200, 300, and so on. Okay, that's why we put the 1000 as the maximum. So for example, like if 0, okay, for example, you can see after this is 0 iteration, only one iteration. Okay, only one iteration. Then the Matlab will be stopped. Okay, that means the first push already get the goal is a 0. So no need to go for the next. Okay, the next push lah, second push, third push, and so on. Okay, because of the condition is just standard. Okay, after you get the error is for example here we set goal as the 0. Okay, because the error is the 0. So once the Matlab achieve the 0, okay, error, so will be stopped. Even you set as the 1000, 2000 push, okay, but only 100 push, the error will be 0. So then the training will be stopped. The training will be stopped. That is the stopping condition that we set as the stopping condition. Okay, next, go for training info. Okay, so for the input, you have to click on the input 1. We have to train our network first. Okay, and then 0, we click on the T, our target here, and then okay, so the network will be Perceptron output. Okay, so this one we maintain lah. Then you have to click on the train networks. Okay, click on the train networks, will appear this one. Okay, you can see this one. Dimension to you. So only one iteration. Okay, only one iteration. So the error will be 0. So no need go for the until 1000 push. You can see. So you can see from 0 to 1000 push. That's only one iteration. So the error is a 0. So that's why this one for the Matlab no need to go for the next iteration because of the already achieved the target lah. That means the error is 0. Okay, so you can see this one. That's why you can check. You can click on the performance. You can check. You can click on the training state lah. Okay, you can see the graph. Okay, the graph for the performance of the neural network. Here, the both ni. You can check. You can click here, performance and training state lah. Okay. Alright, so after this you can go for the data manager. You can see the perceptron and error. Okay, the outputs and the error. So double click lah. Double click on the outputs. Alright, so will be follow this one 1, -1. Okay, 1 will be orange, -1 will be apple lah. I just change. Okay, follow, not follow before this. Okay, and then click on the error. Okay, error will be 0, 0. That's mean no error. Okay, no error. That's why, okay, after we train, okay, and then we can try simulate. So we can try simulate. Okay, we want to simulate and then try. So we go for the test bar. So we want to know whether this data is for apple or for orange. So we click, simulate. Go for simulate. Okay, go for test bar. Okay, our input is a test bar. We want to know either apple or orange. Okay, so you have to change as the input 1. Input 1. Okay, and then simulate the network lah. Simulate the networks. Okay, and then you can see that appear here. So output 1. Double click on the output 1. Alright, so the output 1 will be 1. 1 is the orange. Okay, 1 is the orange lah. So this one the output 1 will be orange lah. So I changed before this. Suppose on the demo is the orange is the -1, okay, and 1 is the apple. But on the target before this, I just change, okay, change. That's why it will be follow lah. That means our target is 1 is the orange and -1 is the apple lah. Okay, this one for example to show you. Okay, so you can try any data. You can put on any value here. All right. Any value, then you can try lah. You can try it. You can use your network to detect lah either is a orange or apple. So you can see on the for example, you go for the let's sheep. I will give for example. Okay, I give 2 example here. The input and okay, maybe you can see on the that sheet. I will give 2 example. We have to try lah either this apple or this input is an apple or orange. Okay, for example like input 1, I just write here 0.61. Okay, semicolon, negative 0.75 semicolon 0.38. Okay, so we try. Okay, this one we go for Matlab. Okay, I just put another data here. Okay. I put as the test buah 2. I put as the new name test buah 2. Okay, so I follow from the let sheet. You can see on the let sheet. Okay, maybe input 2 I put as the 0.6. 0.61, 0.61 semicolon, negative 0.75 semicolon 0.38, okay, 0.38 as the input, create as the input. Okay, so we will prepare this one, test buah 2. Alright, so just this one already you can use straightforward, because your network already training. Okay, you can use your networks. Okay, here. Alright, so go for the simulate. Simulate, go for the test buah 2. Okay, and then you have to change this one, the output change to 2 lah. Change to 2 or any name, up to you lah. Any name you can put as any name lah. Okay, so you can simulate. And then you can simulate. Okay, so we will appear the output here lah. Okay, so the output will be 1. Okay, 1 is the orange. Okay, this fruit is the orange. Okay, alright, this one. So if you refer to this one, okay, this one I just change. Okay, so don't confuse. So I just change. For example, for second, this one I just change. For orange, I just change to the 1. Okay, apple to the negative 1. So that's why the output will be 1. Okay, 1 here is the orange lah. Okay, the data will be orange. Okay, the data will be orange. So that's why you can try here. Okay, you can try the on the data sheet. Okay, on the lab sheet you can try to run this neural network lah. Okay guys, any questions so far? So this one is how to use the Matlab lah. How to use the Matlab to run the neural network, and you can see how the neural network works. Okay, you can see how the neural network works lah. Okay, so after this you can try lah. You can try. Okay, you can try using your Matlab. So you can try to understand how to set the inputs. Okay, how to set the target and how to set the network, and then you have to set the training. Okay, first you have to set the weights and bias, and then you have to train. Okay, train your networks. Then you can try lah. You can simulate lah. You can simulate your network lah. Try to whether you get the desired output or not. Okay. Okay, that's all. I think that's all for today class is to cover for the how to design the neural network using the Matlab software. Okay, and then you can try lah. So you can see the demo. For example, you can click and then you can check on the demo lah. So we have a lot of demo on the neural networks. Okay, so but this one will be covered in our class. For example, how to use the perceptron. So it's similar like in our class. So I'll just show, for example, like you can change. Okay, for networks. Okay, this one maybe you can try on the networks. You can try on the feed forward backpropagation. So similar like last week class. So this one how it's work. Okay, so this one you can change, and then you can set the input, and then set the target, and then also you can training function. Okay, this one you have the lot of training function. This one, that's why we have to go the helps are how the training function works. So they have a lot of training function. So that's why you have to know. Normally we use the train ML. Okay, so what is the definition of train LM? So that's why you have to go, and then learning the adaptation learning function. Okay, and then the performance function, and how many layers. So if you want to set too many layer, 4 layer for example, you can set 4 layer, and then how many neurons. Okay, for example, how many neuron you want to set. For example, this one will be set as the 10 neuron. Okay, we have 10 neuron. You can set any number of neuron. Maybe you can set as 5, 4, up to you. Okay, so you can, for example, like this one, and then you can view. Okay, you can view your networks. Okay, this one you can see this one. This is your networks. Okay, you can see the network. So we have 4 layer. This means we have the layer here. You can see the neuron. This one for hidden layer 1, we have 10 neuron. Hidden layer 2, we have 1 neuron. Hidden layer 3, we have because this one I just set here. layer 1, layer 2, you can change. Okay, you can set as the 10, or that's why after you set this one will be changed lah. Okay, this one for example, we have 4 layer lah. Header layer 1 and until header layer 4. Okay, and then the input will be have 3 input and 1 output lah. This one actually is come from your data. This one, the input 3 and output 1 is the come from the data. So the Matlab will be recognized how many data you have. Okay, for input, so for example, we have 3 inputs, and then for the output we have 1, either -1 or 1. Okay, that's why the Matlab will be detect lah. Okay, and then then next you can, when you you certified the network, you can create and then you can train lah. Okay, so because of this one is a simple example, so it's a straightforward example lah. So maybe you can try, because before that I have a data, so maybe you can try. After I will on the group I will just give some example of the data. Okay, you can try lah using the Perceptron or using the feed forward to recognize. So this one, this to recognize the wood. Okay, the type of wood. Okay, you can see on the slide. Okay, for example in our class, so to detect the what type of the wood and the wood. So the data will be I will pass to the group. So maybe you can try. Maybe try. So this one is we have a lot of data lah. I think I'm not sure. I forgot the amount of data. So but we have a lot of data lah for type of the wood. Okay, you can try. So this one just simple example. We have 3 input and 1 output lah. Okay, for example, if we have 10 input and then also the 10 output, up to you. You can set on the neural networks. Okay, so I think that's all for today class. Already cover for how to use the tools. The tool that is using the Matlab software to run the neural network lah. So before this, I already showed how to run the fuzzy logic, and today I just showed how to run the neural network. So hopefully you can use lah. You can use this tool to run your. I'm not sure. Maybe some of you use the neural network as your FYP, or you want to run your fuzzy logic on your FYP, so you can at least you have some idea lah how to run the Matlab, how to run the Matlab for fuzzy logics or for neural network to run to study for your FYP. At least you get some idea lah. It's not from it not come from the zero, so you have some idea. So you know the fundamental of the inside the fuzzy logic or inside the neural networks, how the neural network works. Okay, how the fuzzy logic works. So already covered in the class. Already covered in the class. So the class will be the study on the fundamentals, how the fuzzy logic works, how the neural network works. Okay, and then this is application lah. All right, so that's why you have some idea. So how the neural network works, or how the fuzzy logic works. Instead, you just use the fuzzy logic toolbox or use the neural network toolbox. At least you have some idea lah, some idea. So this is net, for example, how to get the net inputs. Okay, to calculate the S. So it's a standard formula. S equals to B plus summation of SIWI, for example. That is the fundamental that you have to know. So for example, you just use the neural network. That's why you don't appreciate what is the net input, what is the inside this one. For example, like fuzzy logic. So on the fuzzy logic, we have studied how the centroid, how to calculate the center of gravity. Okay, so on the class we are studying. So we have to use center of gravity. So we have to calculate like this. Okay, for example, integration from this point to this point, from this point plus this one, and then divide by this point, can. And then if you just use, so you not appreciate how the fuzzy logic or how the neural network works. Okay, all right. So I think that's all for our syllabus. Okay, already finished. So next week, I think the last